Let me tell you about the following program, just a gathering of like-minded folks, seeking growth and good community unity, learning, thinking, not at all a cook. No Kool-Aid, no spaceships, no mandatory tracksuits, no squirrel mutilation, no sacrificing goats, mild farm work, no throwing virgins into volcanoes. No, 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 we're fine, you know. It's not at all a cult. It's not at all a cult. Just a little thing we do with a lot of heart and hoopla. It's not at all a cult. It's not at all a cult. Where's the host? Where's the host? Who's got the mic tonight? No shucking off clothing while dancing around a bonfire. I'm in a little of the forest to the beat of a tom-tom. The beat of a tom-tom. The beat of a tom. Joe is not, he's just the host with the clipboard and grin. Not the one with the crown, not the one with the pin. We're all here for the cookies and growth, for the talking circle and the hand clap toast. No secret tunnel, no velvet throne, just a folding chair and a kettle. Whoa! It's not at all a cult. It's not at all a cult. Just a little thing we do with a lot of heart and hoopla. It's not at all a cult. It's not at all a cult. Where's the host? Where's the host? Who's got the mic tonight? If you see Joe, point him this way. We need the host for the closing say. Not a leader, just a host from the J-Hood, with a smile too big and too many tabs for his own good. It's not at all a cult. It's not at all a cult. Community, unity, learning, thinking, singing loud. It's not at all a cult. It's not at all a cult. Where's the host? Where's the host? Oh, there he is now.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the following program. I am your host, Joe Nierman, a.k.a. Good Lawgic. I hope you all had a killer day, awesome day. And not because you're inhaling all the fumes coming over to us from like that, the enemy of the United States, Canada. So they are our enemies. They hate us. They want to see us dead. We need to go to war with them as vociferously as possible. And thankfully, Trump seems like he's on top of that. That's one of our stories tonight, as well as Mikey Sherrill, my governor, my newly elected governor. Oh, in her first year, coming out and admitting that my elections, my vote has been cast aside, has been counterbalanced by illegal aliens who they just decided, let's have thousands of illegal aliens voting in our elections, calling it a glitch. 6,600 glitches, apparently. 6,600 glitches. It's no biggie. Right. It's not all a thing. Plus, there was a massive win in the Second Circuit with respect to bouncing out an instigator and seeing him on the road to deportation. All that and more coming up tonight. Plus, we have a goal. If we get 15 Super Chats, the quantities of $10 or more. It does not need to be Super Chats, it could be Roman Rants. It could be Venmo. I'm feeling Venmo tonight. Very Venmo-y tonight. There's a Venmo-y vibe out there tonight. I'm feeling it. It could be Venmo or PayPal or shekels from the diggers in the lounge, whatever it is, wherever you are. Quantity is $10 more. We get 15 of those. We're gonna have hour 3 with a manifesto. I was like thinking, I don't know if I was gonna do manifesto tonight, but then I asked this guy, I was like, should we do manifesto? He's like, I like manifesto. I think people like it. That's what he said to me. I wasn't gonna do it.
Yeah, it was a direct quote, actually. I like it. I think it's great. It's fantastic. Sometimes you don't hit a good rant, and I think the chat comes here for a great rant at least once every episode. And with the manifesto, I think, no, I really do.
Every
I think
episode.
yeah. When you start doing a rant, and if I even make a peep, right? People go, hey, whoa, 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 let him cook, Cynic. Let him cook, Sin. And then they're, you'll just hear them like cheering you on and hooping and hollering in the chat. It's fantastic, man. It's great.
All right.
Hi, chat. Good to see
Thank
you
you.
guys on a Tuesday.
Yeah. I'm going to testify. I'm about to testify right now. Me testifying.
All right.
When I was going on Tim Pool, the day I went on Tim Pool, the only person who texted me wishing me luck was this guy right here.
Well, really? No way. Are you serious?
No one else texted me. No.
Well, it's a big deal. I think it's a huge deal. It's great for you. It's
No,
fantastic. And I was proud that somebody looked at you and said, "This guy, this schlub, bring him on."
Believe it or not, yeah. Someone did. The vetting process there obviously is not up to par anymore. But
no, I really was, and I thought that what, this guy. I know if I was going on Tim Pool, even though I've done like 1,000 streams at this point, I would be, there'd be some butterflies, some jitters, whatever. Even, and so I figured like, hey, I'm gonna send my buddy some well wishes. So, well, I'm glad that.
Actually, I think Joe from the chat. I know he sent me something right before or after. So there could be one guy. Audio Joe might have texted me. That's true. That's true. I think Audio Joe and Cynic. Yeah, those are the two. But I was trying to give him props. So
yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah.
I do my best.
So I have Sin on a day early. Most of you who are regular viewers of the show know I have Sin on Wednesday nights. And then I'll have Jim Satali from Jim Tells You on Thursday nights. This week, however, starting tomorrow evening, it's a Jewish day of mourning, which begins at sunset tomorrow and goes for 25 hours, where we're fasting. We're not really supposed to be working. We're supposed to really be, introspective about the diaspora that we currently find ourselves in. And it's not a time of levity at all. Quite the contrary. So I'm not going to be streaming tomorrow. And that's why I hit Sin up early in the week. And I was like, do you want to join me on Tuesday? But I just want you all who are watching to be aware, I'm not going to be streaming tomorrow. I'll put a notice on locals letting them know that I'm not going to be streaming tomorrow evening. I do expect to be streaming on Thursday night, but I'm probably going to be starting late because I don't expect to be following the news very much on Thursday until after the fast ends, and then I'll start checking the news. But I do want to stream on Thursday evening. That's the plan right now, but definitely not tomorrow night. So I want you all to be aware of that. So I've sent in here tonight. And people might not have expected that.
Yeah, they might. It's unusual, but I mean, we've done it once before. It was another Jewish holiday. That we decided to do this on. Also, that tells me that you enjoy our time together. Because you're not supposed to have any levity, and so being with me brings you joy, which would be a Jewish sin tomorrow. So there we go, guys.
Yeah, I guess that's one way of looking at it. Why not? I'll give fine. Yes. Yeah,
that's it.
I do.
See?
There you go. I can just I'll just tip the
She's gonna let me win that one.
I'll let you win that one.
Yeah.
I'll let you, I'm not gonna fight you on this one.
No one cares about the Sin show. They're all worried about the Jim shows. I don't know about that one. X it out, Jim tells you. All right.
Right. Well, Jim, we're gonna be going late Thursday night. So now you have the heads up on that. I'm thinking.
Yeah, make sure you take a nap, old man. That 11 o'clock. Stay up late.
Like I'm thinking 11 o'clock is the earliest I'm going to possibly be starting. So just give me that heads up now. So yeah, but I'd be happy to have you join me on Thursday, Jim, as per usual.
Just make sure Sundowners isn't acting up, Jim.
Yeah, I should tell you something. There was one thing I was actually thinking. Last night I stumbled on this and I was like, oh, I got to make a whole story out of this.
Yeah. What are we talking about?
And it's not even one of the things I listed. And I'll explain to you why it's not one of the things. So as soon as I share it with you, and that was this thing here, Nick Sorter, who's very good at giving timely news.
Yeah.
He shared this out yesterday at 1:36 a.m. I guess technically early this morning.
He pay rescue.
saying breaking the U.S. Appeals Court for D.C. has denied Joe Biden's emergency request to block the release of his 5-hour interview with special counsel Hur in 2023. This is going to be damning for those who said Biden was mentally fit for office. A 4-minute snippet has already been released by Axios in 2015. I don't know when 2015, this happened in 2023, showing Biden struggling to remember what years he was vice president and when his son Beau died. Great job to It's YouGov for making this happen. SCOTUS is Biden's last hope. Release the whole tape. Well, good, and like I said, I'm a big fan of Nick Sorter because he busts his tail to bring us active news. And when I heard this clip, which I'm gonna listen to with you.
Yeah. I love a good Joe Biden clip.
It's 4 minutes from his interview. I was like, oh man.
I love a good Joe clip. It's great.
But before we go any further on this, I do for purposes of full transparency, I want you to know this is not a new thing. I don't know why this I'm saying is if you go to this is actually uploaded a year ago, the full 5 hours. And I was just like, I didn't even know the full 5 hours has been out there. How has this not been made into like a mixtape yet?
How come nobody's clipped this up and made it like consumable for live streamers yet? Because
or turned it into like music, right?
Like, you know what? Truthfully, as much as I find Joe Biden a very funny character, right? I said it when he got elected. This is going to be the most miserable and the funniest best 4 years of our lives. Watching this guy bumble up to a podium day in and day out and say crazy stuff is going to be hilarious. Now, everybody needs to tighten their belts and get all of your investments sorted, but it's going to be funny.
Yeah, exactly. And I understand. And that's a fair assessment. That's a reasonable prediction. My point, though, is that, I was just like, is this really the 5 hours? It's 5 hours of them questioning him and him answering. And I don't know what's going on with this report. I assume, I don't know what Nick's reporting on here, that he reported this early this morning. I saw this after I finished my show last night, and I was just like, oh, wow, I got something for tomorrow. And then I'm like, this is a year old. Like, this has been out there for a year. But I do want to share with you. I was like, you know what? I got Sin coming on.
I love a good Joe Biden clip. That commercial last week for his book was so fun. It was so great to watch him go. I'm just saying, it was things that happened. I was president, guy.
So we're gonna check that out in just a mo. Goats are tied up in the back. Yes, let me change into my tracksuit. Hope you save me some cool. There's no Kool-Aid. There is no Kool-Aid. All hail, not the leader. I am not. Thank you.
You used to change the leader to depending on who was the most recent member?
Yes, I did give leadership status to the most recent member. Yes, the newestly joined member
was the leader.
I was recognizing as the leader. Yeah, we had that's good on you to remember that. I haven't done that in like 4 years or so. That's a long time since I did that. Good, very good on you. Very, very, very impressive indeed. So a long time since. I'm gonna try. Let me just. Also we have a gold coin from Alan Sparks. Thank you so much, and an eagle. We don't really get to see it here.
Yeah, the StreamYard has now incorporated the actual monetary amount. I still don't know the cut of the gems that we get, but we get a cut.
I asked Grok this last night, and they said we get the whole thing, which I don't believe is true.
No, that's one thing that I read, that you get the whole thing on so many of them, and then you get a percentage of other. It's so weird. It's something that they rolled out for if you're, let's say you're doing your trial streams, right? And you're doing like the man on the street, like at lunchtime, and you pop up in YouTube on your phone. It's mainly for those vertical live streams. That's what it's for.
For those little right.
But if you're watching on YouTube right now, whenever Chuck Norris bought the eagle, an eagle pops up in the chat. And it's really cool. Like people love it.
Is that true?
Yeah. I don't know if you can
do I get a certain number of those to give out?
No. Actually, I think everybody got so many free gems when they rolled it out. So most people have probably already used them. It's been out for a couple months now. My chat loves them, man. They especially because I've got Cody. They'll play the corgi one all the time. It's great.
I'm very confused by what I'm looking at here. All right. No, I don't know. I don't know what the story. I don't know what the deal. I don't know what the deal is. Not sure. But yeah. And happy poop. Thank you so much.
Same.
Look at this. Mita with a long E popping in here with the corgi.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mita.
So that means like in the chat there, I see a corgi.
You should have. If you were watching it live, you should have seen a corgi pop up in the chat. Yeah.
I was watching it live. I don't know, but all right. I'm still very confused by this. I see like when I go to the chat, I see a picture of the corgi.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can see it up there.
Oh, there's a little rose that popped up. I don't even know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anyway, there's a flower, right, and a gold coin. Could you imagine all your followers singing your intro song while we build our commune in Guyana?
Well,
Wait, why, not
that's
Guyana. No, this is going to be in America for sure. Not going to be Guyana. Definitely not Guyana. Yeah, and they can do 30 gems. They could do 6 gems. I don't even know what's happening here.
Yeah, like the corky one's like 1,000 gems.
Oh, there's different prices for different things. Okay, now I'm learning. Now I'm learning.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So yeah. Am I supposed to just like, I don't know what to do with this because I've never had to deal with this before.
I don't know how it calculates into the
Am I gonna have to
really
like every 30 gems I'm gonna like well, thank you. That's very cool. Send me a flower. I think what I'm gonna do is this. I think for like the blue like little things, I'll just pull them up. You know, I'm just gonna pull them up because it's really disrupting the flow if I just like if people are sending, you know, happy poop at a time.
So yeah, I think it's like 1 gem equals like 1 cent or something like that.
That's what I'm saying. So, like, you know, for every dime that someone drops in here, I'm not gonna I can't sit there just like, you know, saying thank you. I'll spend the entire time just doing that.
What I normally do is just pop them up, you know, just hit a little quick, you know, thank you so much, or just pop them up because the chat gets notified of it.
Right.
When it's happening.
So I'm not going to be pulling those up unless they're like, you know, unless they're like, if it's a corgi, so, you know, a $10 one, fine. But like, yeah, I'm not, yeah. I can't.
Yeah, anybody wants to come to my show and drop corgi gems, you're welcome to anytime whatsoever. You're more than welcome. And I will pull them up. So don't you worry about
15 months for Kelly C. Not at all. Time flies when you're in a cult, which is not at all a cult. But I would tell you this: it would be really cool to like actually like have like folks singing this song. Now this week I've been using like a cappella songs, you know, in lieu of. But I like today's song. I like that. Today's I like the way it came out. So anyway, let's get into Biden. I want to
do this.
Let's get started on this.
So during this time, we were living in Chambers Road, and there were.
We're going to slow this down a little bit here. Oh, no, I guess not.
Documents related to the Penn Biden Center or the Biden or the cancer finger shot or your book. Where did you keep papers that related to those things that you were actively working on?
Well, I don't know.
So the question here is, where did you keep the papers that you were using to write your book or for Penn Biden? Like, where are you storing those? You would think somewhere secure, right? Right. So
you would hope so. Yeah.
You would hope, right? I mean, it's classified materials.
This is what, 2017, 18, that area?
Yes, sir.
Remember, in this time frame, my son is either been deployed or is dying. And so.
Now, here's a question for you, right? Well, the question here was in 2018, right? He's asking about.
Yeah.
Do you know when Beau Biden died? His son, Beau?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know what year he died?
I have no clue. The wrong son died, though. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what he certainly feels. But yeah. So he died in 2015.
Oh.
Yeah. That's relevant information. So he's being asked about 2018. He's like, yeah, during this time my son died. Okay.
It was, and by the way, there were still a lot of people at the time when I got out of the Senate that were encouraging me to run in this period, except the president. It's not a mean thing to say, but he just thought that she had a better shot of winning.
He's being asked, where were you storing your papers in 2018? And now he's talking about running for election in 2016 and how Obama didn't want him to run.
Presidency than I did. And so I hadn't at this point, even though I'm at Penn, I hadn't walked away from the idea that I might run for office again. So if I ran again, I'd be running for president. And so what was happening though, one month ago died, May 30th, 2015. Was it 2015 he died? 2015. I think it's 2015.
I'm not sure the months are, but I think that was.
Yeah.
That's right, Mr. President.
And what's happened in the meantime is that and Trump gets elected in November of 2017, 2016. All right. So
That's when we left office in January.
yeah, okay.
What happened in 2017? That's when you left office. Oh, yeah. All right. That's right. All right. You got that one. That's right.
You nailed it. Good job, Joe. Yeah, I left office. You know, it's no big deal, guys.
He didn't even know that he left office in 2017. He's like, what happened in 2017? You left office. Oh yeah. Oh, that's right.
Jeb Bush, my son, he died in 2033. It was a terrible thing. I couldn't believe it.
We're talking about where he stored his documents in 2018.
I had him in my shoes.
We're
It's
2.5 minutes.
place.
We're 2.5 minutes into this thing, and
Joe, you don't understand. I keep them in my shoes. Nobody can steal them if they're under my hat and in my shoes. That's where they're everywhere. They're on me. You can't. What are you gonna steal me, Joe? Come on now. Come on, man. Lion dog face pony soldier.
And in 2017, Bo had passed, and
Man, it's personal, man. Gonna run for president.
Genesis of the book.
or the Book of Genesis.
I was in the Genesis. I was listening to Genesis one time. I drove a Genesis.
It's interesting. He's about to tell you. You know, the name of his book is "Promise Me America." Apparently, at one point, he was going to call it "Promise Me Dad." This is what he's about to say here.
The title "Promise Me Dad"
Cringe.
was
My book about my daughter.
they're all Bo was like my right arm, and that was my left.
What?
These guys were a year and a day.
He's saying, "I know you're all close with your sons and daughters, but Bo was different. My relationship with Bo is different because he's like my right arm. Whatever you think your relationship is with your son, my relationship with Bo was much stronger than that. He was like my right arm.
But I'm left-handed, so it was weird that I would call him that. I keep bubblegum in my socks.
Bo, I used to go home on the train in the period that I was still in the Senate.
We're supposed to believe this man was running the country. That's what Democrats would have you believe, that he's making decisions.
I was eating ice cream and writing papers. You didn't see me?
This is astonishing to me.
It was in 2031 that I was president. You just don't know, Joe. You'll see.
This is crazy.
Promise Me America.
This
Right?
is insane,
Beautiful.
dude.
This
It's
is great.
insane.
I people I love it. Everybody gets so okay. Look, Joe was the worst president I think we ever had. But
But he
was
wasn't
just,
even president. There was other people
Look,
doing
I know.
everything. Clearly.
I know. Well, I mean, it was just it was just Obama in a trench coat. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
all it was. And Obama at that time was the worst president I'd ever seen in my life. That's what Joe was. But guys, at this point, you have to look at it. We're through it, right? You have to look at it and laugh. This is insane that we allowed it to happen. It is crazy that we sat there and people just propped this guy up and weekended Bernie's them around the United States and the entire world for
They tried
4
running
years.
him for re-election.
And he would have almost like laid into cussing there, and he would have won too if it hadn't been for that pesky debate.
Yeah.
They would have somehow, some way stole that election. He'd be president right now.
Yeah.
Anyway. Just remember.
People are just trolling you with the gyms now. It's
There
great.
was pressure, not pressure.
All night. You're not going to hit the goal, but you're going to hit the goal somehow.
Knew how much I adored him. And
I had a sandwich.
this sounds
2004.
Everybody knew how close we were. There was not anybody.
Where did you keep your documents? That's the question.
I'm trying to tell you. Joe, calm down. All right. You're yelling. You're being real loud right now.
This is
I keep
so-
my documents in Bo's grave.
I don't know how Robert Herr here wasn't losing his mind.
He probably was. You imagine he just stuck his like arm across his face and just went. Well, what's that? What are you doing?
Anyway. And
Sir,
so,
I'm wondering if it's a good time to take a break. Briefly there.
no, let me just keep going.
No, I'm gonna tell you about Bo and how he is.
We're almost finished.
The reason
We're almost
and
finished.
how
Let's
he's
just
got my
keep-
documents up in heaven. Hey, what's a safer place than heaven to keep your documents?
He didn't remember the question was about documents anymore.
It's about. I'm trying to tell you, you don't understand. Bo died, and I said, "Here, Bo, take my documents with you." And he took them to Jesus. Who's gonna rob from Jesus?
Frank is saying, Biden, I was at a bar mitzvah. Hunter was dealing dreidels.
Yeah, you don't know what that means. It's because you're not a good Jew.
Hold on a second. I'm curious. Did this come up as because it's yellow? Did this come up as like towards the goal? Is that what happened?
It didn't.
It didn't.
Nope, but that's somewhere around that would be $6.80 you just got.
Yeah, thank you for the quick math there and removing a 0. That was very impressive. Are you able to count up all those pennies so fast? Did you have to take off your socks?
I had to take off my yarmulke. Take that.
All right, let's get into it on this Mikey Sherrill story. So Mikey Sherrill came out today, and she had a very important announcement for the country and for the residents of New Jersey.
Yeah.
This breaking just a moment ago, New Jersey's Democratic governor, Mickey Sherrill, says that some 6,000 non-U.S. citizens were actually registered to vote in the state's motor vehicle system. Eric Shawn has some breaking details right here in the New York newsroom for us. Eric, what can you tell us?
Yeah, Jillian, it turns out that thousands of non-citizens were added to New Jersey's voter rolls, and some even voted because of a computer glitch.
They claim, they're totally lying about how many of them voted. Totally lying. I have no doubt that they're lying about how many of them voted.
But now the state says it's trying to clean that up. New Jersey's governor, Mikey Sherrill, says that a software error in the state's motor vehicle system led to about 6,600 people who are not citizens being registered as Garden State voters when they apply for a driver's license. She says even though the applicants answered no on the license and also state ID card application forms, well, the computer registered yes as citizens.
Good job.
How does it happen like that? Not the other way. How does it happen like that? Like they're just a glitch.
Mm-hmm.
Phil Murphy. This is Phil Murphy.
And to get yourself, didn't you, Joe?
I hate Phil
Mother.
Murphy. I hate Mother Phil Murphy.
Mm-hmm.
I hate this Mother Phil Murphy.
Oh
God. Oh, I'm so sickened by it. You know why I hate him, right?
No, I have no clue.
Plastic bags.
Did he do the plastic bag thing that we talked about forever ago?
This is the guy.
This is the guy that did away with plastic bags and made you have to carry cloth bags like some weird housewife to your local bodega.
Yep.
Ha! Nerd.
What they had was so there's no more plastic bags in New York because in New Jersey because of this jackass. I'm apprising my audience, those who didn't hear it the way you did from me. He's like, no, because there's climate change happening. It's climate change, so we have to get rid of plastic bags. So instead, what they gave us was a choice of cloth bags, or they have these like much bigger plastic bags that are sort of like reusable with handles, like it's like a really big plastic bag, like it'll hold. It's shaped to hold 6 2-liter bottles of soda. Like you put in 6 of them.
Yeah,
and it's perfectly shaped. And they're very sturdy, strong bags. Mm-hmm. The problem they realized was that those bags that they gave us to replace the regular plastic bags are completely not biodegradable. Like they are such a worse hazard to the environment that it's frightening. It's like basically this is much worse. Whatever the plastic bags were, this is much worse. Because whenever a Democrat tries fixing something, inevitably, even if the agenda is stupid, the solution is stupid and just makes the problem worse. So then they have to go back to the drawing board and now they're going to really fix it. This is what happens every single freaking time. Freaking Phil Murphy.
It all happened under the previous administration of Democratic Governor Phil Murphy, and she's ordered the illegal voters be removed from the rolls.
It's unacceptable that the vendor released software with such a glaring error.
Oh, it's the vendor's fault, of course. Of course. Just the vendor's fault. Unbelievable.
It's unacceptable that the MVC took a year to get this issue fixed. And it's unacceptable that no one in the previous administration brought this to light, demanded accountability, or took action when it happened years ago.
I mean, you came in January, so it's not like you were so quick on the fix either.
Well, the investigation says it found less than 400 of those who were improperly registered actually did vote. And of those 400, they were registered in all the parties. There were Democrats, Republicans, and unaffiliated voters.
This is the part that I think is 1,000% a lie. You're going to tell me 6,600 people registered and only 400 of them voted? Only 400 of them voted. This, I think, is an outright lie. I cannot believe this is true at all. I don't think it's true. It's only 6,600. But even if it is only, you cannot tell me that roughly 7% of the people who registered to vote voted from this pool when we had an 85% turnout. That's insane. That's not possible. But I think they're afraid that in some of the local elections where people won by by a couple of thousand votes, that for all you know, all of these local elections have to be thrown into question. Like maybe we had 2,000 people. You tell me that there's, if you come out and tell us that there's 3,500 illegals who voted, well, that would undo countless minor local elections that we had here in New Jersey. Because how do you know that they didn't affect the result in our election? Like, how does anyone know this? There's no way to know. So I think that's why they're lying. I don't believe this for a second. I don't think it's only 400 people because the percentages say that's next to impossible. So yeah, I don't buy it. Now it's true first-time voters vote more infrequently, but you're telling me, I'm sorry. I don't.
I mean, the fact that you can go to the DMV as a non-citizen.
It's the MVC here, by the way, Motor Vehicle Commission.
Well, I mean, they vote through it says right
same
there.
thing. It's the same thing.
Yeah. Actually, thanks, Joe.
Well, you're gonna hear MVC a few more times as I'm covering this story, so that's why I was clarifying.
Gotcha.
I don't care that you're calling it DMV. I grew up with the DMV, but go on.
Yeah, the fact that they're able to do that is astonishing. That
Yeah.
all right, I'm not even a U.S. citizen. I'm going to go down and use your local DMV to do anything, and then that goes, well, guess what? You're now registered to vote here.
Oh, and that's the other thing also. This is 6,600 people who admitted that they were illegal aliens. What about the ones who didn't admit? What does that mean?
Oh,
it's
true.
like if someone just comes to the Motor Vehicle Commission and they're just like, well, they said no, they said they were. Like, I mean, I'm sure. Look, I haven't been to the Motor Vehicle Commission here in a long time. I would assume. I don't know why I'm assuming this. I don't know what's making me assume this. I got my driver's license initially in New York because that's where I grew up, and when I had to get a Jersey license, so I just went in and showed my Jersey license, and then I renewed it. I don't know, 10 years later or so. But it's so I don't know what the process is for a first-time driver getting even though I live in the state, I don't know what the process is for them to actually get a driver's license.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's pathetic that the implication here is that, well, these are the ones who admitted that they're not citizens. What about the ones who don't? Who lie and say I am a citizen? Like it's very unsettling. It's very unsettling. I should ask Rock like what steps New Jersey takes to ensure that someone is not lying on their application. Right? That's a good question to ask.
That is a very good question to ask. Yeah. Because I don't understand how the process would work either. It seems crazy to me.
Grok, in the state of New Jersey, when someone is getting a driver's license, how do they verify whether or not they are a citizen?
They don't verify citizenship at all for a standard New Jersey driver's license. You just bring documents that add up to 6 points of ID, things like a birth certificate, passport, or foreign passport, plus other papers, plus proof of your New Jersey address and either a social security number, ITIN, or a sworn affidavit saying you don't have one. The MVC accepts the documents at face value and doesn't run any background check or database query to confirm you're a citizen. For a real ID or commercial license, it's different. You have to prove lawful presence, which for citizens means showing a U.S. birth certificate, passport, or naturalization papers.
What if they want to be registered to vote when they get their license?
They have to affirm under penalty of perjury that they're a U.S. citizen and meet all other voter eligibility rules. The MVC doesn't run an independent
They have to
citizenship check
affirm
beyond the
that they're a
documents they
citizen.
already showed for the license itself. If those
How did
documents
this
prove
oopsie
nonsense,
happen? Unless
like
it
a
was
green card,
nefarious.
the system automatically filters them out of the voter registration process. A non-citizen who falsely claims citizenship risks criminal prosecution and immigration consequences.
So if they lie, there's no way for you to know unless somehow they get prosecuted down the road.
That's mostly right. There's no automatic cross-check with immigration databases or citizenship verification at the time of registration. Cases usually surface later when someone applies for naturalization, gets flagged during that process, or self-reports to get removed from the rolls. Recent federal prosecutions caught a handful who actually voted, but officials and investigations acknowledge there's no reliable proactive system to spot them up front.
This is astonishing. It's really astonishing.
It's at your neck of the woods too.
In my state.
Mm-hmm.
These are the people who are counteracting my vote.
Yeah, every time one of them gets to vote, they're most likely going to vote against you, which negates you. Which there's something very disgusting about that. I think it's the only word I can think of. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
No, this is horrifying. This is really horrifying. It's this glitch which I don't believe it was a glitch even. I think that Phil Murphy probably was very happy about this little glitch that happened 6,600 times. This is insane. This is a joke. And my stupid Senate is too useless to be of any help at all.
There's something disgusting about it, and then it's very discouraging.
It is. It's very discouraging.
People who aren't like full politically active, like when it comes to voting and doing things that need to be done within our state or within our country, when it's time to vote, I'm pretty active on it. But for people who aren't, when they see stuff like this, they go, "Why? Why would I even do it? Why do I care now?"
It's horrifying. It's really horrifying. Joe, I'll make it easy and just send cash. Thank you. Thank you. Should I check my Venmo? Should I? Should I check my Venmo? A false feminist and an obvious gay man walk into a bar. Wait, what was this? We sent this like 10 minutes ago. Thank you so much for the everyone loves sending these things now. Ooh, criminal prosecution. I'm so scared. Exactly. There's no freaking. I'm sure it's criminal prosecution is probably it's probably like a stupid, level D misdemeanor. It's not anything. It's unbelievable.
It's probably labeled as like a class A misdemeanor, which would be like a year and a day, but they never charge it that way. You know what I mean?
Right. No.
Nobody's ever gonna do that. They're just gonna go, "Well, here's a
no one
a
spent
slap
any
on the wrist."
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, nobody did.
Meanwhile, all food is wrapped in plastic throughout the store. Yeah. This is Phil Murphy for you. He sucks. Sucks. Stay hydrated. Thank you. It's a food condom.
They were registered over a one-year period from June 2023 to 24, and elections held during that time. Well, they included the state legislature, municipal contests, school board elections in 2023, as well as in 2024, the U.S. Senate, congressional races, and the presidential election, which Kamala Harris won by more than 250,000 votes. And Cheryl herself.
See, they're trying to say, don't worry, because she won New Jersey by 250,000 votes. Yeah, so don't worry
Who
about it.
cares? Yeah, it's no big deal. These voters don't matter. They didn't negate anything that you did. Yet she should have won by 250,000 plus. I'm sorry, that doesn't matter. Oh my God, man.
Was elected as governor last year, and she won by nearly 500,000 votes.
This song is a Mikey Cheryl won by 500,000 votes. Yeah, okay. Let's hear from our governor. This was Trump last week when he was explaining the level of the problem.
Finally, to reveal just how vulnerable our elections continue to be, we are releasing the results of a stunning investigation by the Department of Homeland Security. According to the DHS review, state voter rolls and public records, they identified approximately 278,000 non-citizens who are registered to vote in federal elections. Since Democrat states refuse to share their voter files, the real number is actually much higher than that. Yet, even this limited analysis found more than 250,000 foreigners illegally registered to vote. Put together, these disclosures reveal an election system so broken and so vulnerable that no one can possibly defend it. It is not defensible.
It is.
Hundreds
It's
of
utterly
millions of
indefensible.
U.S. voter files are in the hands of foreign governments. Our machines and ballot counting systems are exposed to hacking and manipulation and corruption. China and other countries have been trying to meddle in our elections. Evidence of fraud has been buried. Hundreds of thousands of non-citizens and dead people are listed and active on the voter rolls. And yet we still have elections with no voter ID, no proof of citizenship, and tens of millions of ballots floating aimlessly through the mail.
So that's what he said last week, and really understating just how serious the problem is. This is the statement that Mikey Cheryl released last week. Let me make us look a little smaller so people can see this. I'm going to embiggen it.
Embiggenate. There we go.
Last week, I learned that serious software error in New Jersey motor vehicle system led to the registration of roughly 6,600 people who indicated they were not U.S. citizens between June 2023 and June 2024, almost 3 years prior to my taking office. These individuals answered no when asked on a keypad whether they were U.S. citizen when applying for driver's licenses and identification cards. I can promise you at least twice as many people lied and said no when the answer was yes. And the real number could be, I don't know. It could be dozens as time. It can be 3 times many, 10 times many. I have no idea how many. No one knows how many. It's insanity. We could have hundreds of that. We could have 200,000 people here who just lied. How would anyone know?
We know that like any number that they give you, it's sort of like what is it, like the thing that they say when guys say their number of hookups or cut that by half or whatever, and then the girls double it. It's the same thing with anything the government's going to tell you what the number is. You've always got to add more to it. It's never the number that they're giving you.
These individuals answered no when asked on keypad whether U.S. citizens when applying for driver's licenses and identification cards, but through no fault of their own, the system registered them anyway. Quote, this happened under the previous administration, the previous incompetent administration, and upon learning this information, I immediately ordered my chief counsel to launch an investigation to get to the bottom of what occurred. I also ordered the removal of any residents from our voter rolls who were erroneously added between June 2023 and June 2024. The new MVC administrator that I appointed has begun the process of replacing the vendor responsible for administering the system. Quote, our preliminary analysis shows fewer than 400 individuals who were newly registered for the first time because of the error voted. They were registered as Democrats, Republicans, and unaffiliated voters and were scattered across the state. This is her way of trying to say, don't worry, it didn't affect any outcomes. That's what she's trying, not even in local elections, because it was scattered. Scattered can mean literally that there was one person in South Jersey and hundreds in one jurisdiction. That would be scattered. And it's the stupidest thing in the world. It doesn't mean anything. But it sounds good. I want to underscore how seriously I take this matter. As a military veteran who swore an oath to defend our Constitution, as a former federal prosecutor, I believe the integrity of our elections is fundamental to our democracy. I'm appalled by the reckless failures that allowed this to happen and the lack of transparency shown by those in charge at the time. The failure didn't occur under my watch. This is just another freaking Democrat. But accountability starts now. I'm taking action to prevent anything like it from occurring in the future and make sure those responsible are held accountable. Yeah, we're gonna see charges pressed. We're gonna see that.
Massive X the doubt, Joe.
As the Trump administration tries to weaponize elections for political gain, I'm ensuring we protect our elections. Let me be clear. Donald Trump has zero credibility on the issue of election integrity. That's crap. For more than 10 years, he has worked to undermine Americans' faith in our elections by spreading lies about legitimate election results, attempting to overturn a free and fair election. That's crap. Encouraging attack on our Capitol, also crap. When he couldn't accept the will of the voters, not true. And defunding the election insecurity at the federal level. The difference is simple. When we find a problem, we don't hide it, deny it, or invent conspiracies.
Really?
We investigate it, we fix it, and we tell the public. Really? Then what? Why the hell was there a Democrat who had this problem and hid it? We're so full of crap. That's what accountability and good governance look like. And that's exactly what my administration is doing. New Jerseyans should have confidence that every eligible citizen can vote. I'm sure every eligible one. The problem is the ineligible ones, clown. Every lawful vote will be counted, and so will the votes of countless illegal aliens. And every reasonable step will be taken to protect the integrity of our elections, like having them just tell us, yes or no, are you a citizen? Because if you are, here's your registration. That's my responsibility, and it's the one I will never stop fighting to uphold. You're such a freaking liar, Mikey Sherrill. Stupid, ridiculous. So that was her statement. Even CNN is like, this really...
The Republicans here are... But Mikey...
This really is not a good look for the Democrats.
But Mikey Sherrill, the governor of New Jersey, made this announcement today, a surprising announcement. Nearly 400 non-citizens voted in New Jersey elections.
Which is a lie.
As a result of what she calls a serious software error. Governor Sherrill posted this quote, as the Trump administration tries to weaponize elections for political gain, I am ensuring we protect our election. She goes on to say the difference is simple. When we find a problem, we don't hide it, deny it, or invent conspiracies. We investigate it, we fix it, and we tell the public. I have to say, though, for Democrats, I'm not saying that the Save America, the SAVE Act is going to pass.
Yeah.
But this is not good for Democrats' argument that there's no such thing as undocumented immigrants voting.
This is not good for our country generally, I would
Right.
say.
Even better.
And it
yeah.
is not, this is a terrible problem to have. I think she handled it correctly.
But
Oh, please. I think she handled it correctly.
Are talking about a
I mean,
solution.
I
to a
guess that's better than doing nothing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, but still, it's tantamount to nothing at this point. Hey, we told you this problem. How are you going to fix it? What are you going to do about it at this point? These votes have already been cast.
Yeah. Yeah. Here is Mikey Sherrill making her statement.
Let me be clear. Donald Trump has zero credibility on the issue of election integrity.
It's like you're sitting here telling us that you had 6,600 illegals voting in our last election, and now you're telling us that he's got zero credibility. You have zero credibility, Sugar.
Last 10 years, he's cried wolf and peddled bizarre conspiracy theories about fraud with no evidence. I saw the consequences of Trump's lies on January 6th.
Oh, shut up. I saw the consequences of his lies. That had nothing to do with Trump or lies. That had to do with the fact that we have zero election integrity about the transparency of it. We have zero transparency about the integrity of our elections. That's what January 6th was about, you stupid.
I was in the Capitol when he and his followers tried to steal the election and put the lives of hundreds of members of our law enforcement.
They weren't trying to steal the election.
No one ever was trying to steal the election.
They were wanting election integrity. That was it. And you know what? And the problem with all this is, and nobody ever says anything about this, if it would have still landed in Biden's lap, he would have won. No matter what, he still would have won. There you are. That would have been it. If somebody would have done something after that and went like, whoa, okay, and started doing crazy things, then you would have an issue. But you know what? You stopped them. You had instigators out there causing problems, and you stopped them. You kept them from doing anything. And now everybody looks at that election and goes, was it? There's an asterisk beside it, just like the Gore Bush election. There's always going to be an asterisk beside that, and you guys know that, and we know that, and that's on them. That's not on us, because I'll tell you this: if I won, if I knew something without a shadow of a doubt was a fact, I would say, yeah, recount it, do it.
And that's what I've said over and over again. When you're not cheating, you're very happy to have people scrutinize you.
Yeah.
You're very, very happy to have people scrutinize you.
Scrutinize it. Count it again. I didn't
Scrutinize
lose.
away.
I didn't.
You're
Yeah,
gonna
whatever
see.
it is. Being
Scrutinize
honest
away.
is free. Being
Yeah.
honest is 100% free, and you can always win on honesty and being in your morality.
It's
Simple as.
both free and freeing.
Yes.
Yeah. So here's Jake Tapper just telling us all about how great our elections are.
The Republicans here are talking about a solution to a non-existent problem. Again, Jake, to make it very clear, this country does not have a problem of election security in any measurable level, and certainly not based on people coming from other countries.
Right, it happens, but at very, very minuscule
Very,
numbers.
very.
It's
How do
not-
you
It
know?
shouldn't happen.
How do you know that? How does anyone know that? Other than you liars telling us that. You establish yourself as being liars, and then you're sitting here telling us, oh, it's very, very minuscule. How the hell do you know that?
Yeah.
When there's no transparency about our quote unquote integrity.
Threat.
Trust me, bro.
Election security. Again, it happens, but very
This is
seldom.
vanishingly small.
Yeah.
It's so small.
It's so minuscule. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that anybody from this chat right now could vote, and that other person who should not be voting has now just negated their vote.
Ridiculous.
Just canceled it out. Just wrote it off the board completely. Why is it that every other country that we talk about has like election integrity and you can't vote unless you're a citizen? And I mean, have you ever seen the way they vote in Israel? Like, it's still on paper. It's crazy the way they do it over there. But
Is that true?
there is no way to mess with it the way they do it. Like, I don't care how archaic it is. Make it secure.
Amen. Amen.
Here, we got to send carrier pigeons.
I tuned in late and saw Sin. I thought I lost a day. No, you haven't lost a day. It's Tuesday. He's
a
here on
special.
a,
It's just a
he's
special
here on a
day.
Tuesday. I know it's crazy, but he is.
Well, Joe's been
So,
trying to get me to do 2 shows a week, but
I'm testing him out on Tuesdays. This is the Tuesday,
Tuesday test.
The Tuesday test. Yeah. Joe, why can't I find you on Tim Pool videos? What night was it again? It was Thursday night, July 16th.
I tuned in. I gave them money. I don't even know if they read it. I said,
They-
Joe, remember all the little people. That really was my.
Did
that
you
was my super chat, yeah.
really send that?
Yeah.
I was telling Sin before the show that while I was sitting there, I was trying to figure out how to work him in. I really was.
You don't have to do that.
I really was. I was like, this guy's been busting his tail. I gotta find some way to do it.
It'll be fine.
And if I do shout out like at the end when he was asking where can people find you, I was thinking about doing the very I'm a 22-year-old type of thing of like shout out to my bro Sin.
That'd have been funny.
What the hell would that do for you?
Speaking of shout outs, though, since we are covering that for a second, you do have a chatter in your chat. I don't know if you've modded them or not, but they are a mod on my channel, a series of bats. It is their birthday today, and I told them that I would tell them happy birthday on the show. So happy birthday, bats.
Happy birthday, bats.
So hopefully they catch it on the replay, but I did tell them I would do that. So
yeah, well, happy birthday, bats. I hope it's a phenomenal day. Hopefully you're out celebrating. You can watch us later.
That's it.
The government is Hands One says the government is old me. My D was 9 inches long. So what's the real number?
Yeah.
Yeah, it says Trump has given access to the state databases so the states can verify citizenship for voting and benefits, but was blocked by one court. Another court said they had to use it. I know there's a whole back and forth on that. How many did they allow and not catch because they didn't check citizenship? Those announced today are the ones that are obvious because applications said non-citizen. That was exactly my point when I was asking Grok about what's the system for verifying that they're telling the truth when people claim they are citizens? It doesn't seem to be any system. It's just trust me, bro. Everything's trust me, bro. This is something I heard Scott Adams, rest his soul, say in 2020 about the thievery of the election. It was a really great point. And what he said was, you told us for the last 4 years that this guy is Nazi, Hitler, terribly evil, existential threat to the world. The whole world's going to spin off its axis. World War III is coming. There's an old ethical, philosophical question. Like, if you can go back in time and kill Hitler as a baby, would you do it?
No.
You say no.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, what if you could screw around with an election to make sure that he doesn't become chancellor of Germany?
Even then, I
Without,
lean,
and you're going to get away with it.
I lean towards no.
Really?
Mhm.
Well, if you know the evil that he's visiting, and you're saying I could stop him from becoming the leader of Germany, and you do nothing to stop him, I'm sorry, that's immoral.
But I see it from the point of view of God has a divine plan for this world, and it's like it or
All
not.
right. Well, you have a whole weird twist on this. I don't really care about your individual point. The point that he was making, you're like the first person I've ever heard give that answer. Like that's a bizarrely fascinating thing, which I don't even know what to make of that.
Yeah, just don't question God.
Yeah. Okay. So by that logic, if you see someone who's about to kill someone, so you shouldn't try to stop them because you're not questioning God?
No, that's different. That's like an automatic fight or flight situation, right? Like, I don't think I have that control over that. My body's going to say, fix this.
And
you're talking about some pre-thought out plan to go back and stop these things.
No, I'm saying you're saying there in 1933 and you have a crystal ball which tells you that this guy's going to start World War II, leading to the death of 50 million people.
I put it to you like this. Let's say
so you tell me, no, that's God's plan. So I'm not going to do anything to thwart that, even though I have easy access to that, and I'm just not going to do that.
No, I'm saying that, like, if I was there and I saw Hitler do evil, my fight or flight sort of situation, I would act upon that. But if I could go back and change things, that's different. To me, that's different. A crystal ball, I don't know. I'd probably act on that. But to go back and change what God's already done, as evil as people see it and as it actually is, I don't know. I feel like that's messing with God's plan.
All right. Well, the point is, a lot of people would say that's a very evil response what you just had.
100%, yeah.
That's a very evil response that you had. But I'm just telling you, you can.
I know that, but I mean, it's it's just the way I see it.
Well, the point that I'm getting at is if you really believe that Trump is so evil, the way you've been saying it, and you don't try to steal the election, you're a douchebag. You should try to steal the election if you really believe he's as evil as you're making him out to be. Like you're saving the world. That's the point that he was making. So then you're going to come back and say, no, our elections were perfectly fine. Trust me, bro. That's insane. When you spent the last 4 years trying to convince the entire world that we have a moral duty to try to cheat in the next election. You spent the last 4 years saying we have a moral duty to cheat in the election to make sure this guy's not in power so we can save the world. But we didn't cheat. Trust us, bro. Like, that's insane. So that's the
I agree with you.
That's the point that Scott Adams was making there with that. Way to completely just like step all over my idea there. That was amazing. That was
I'm sorry, you asked me a question. I answered honestly. Would you rather me just lie?
It's like, what the heck? I've never even imagined this was like a layup. I'm just like, it was just like I sort of like just put it up there for you just to catch right by the basket, and you just a little alley-oop
that would make me a liar, and I don't want to be a liar, Joe.
And all of a sudden I start hearing about God's plan. So no, I can't do it because it's God's plan. And I'm just like, what the hell is he talking about here? It's 1933. I
explained it. Like, I was sitting there in 1933 and I saw like all of this stuff. It was put in front of me, and I was like, I saw all the plans. That's a different thing. I could stop it, but to go back and correct something that's already happened, I wouldn't do.
Okay. So glad I brought you in here on a Tuesday.
I swear, now you're just gaslighting and kneecapping me.
An appeals court just overturned the lower court's ruling today. And a big win that we got for deportation. You probably don't know who this guy is.
No.
You probably never heard of him before.
Probably not.
Which ordered the release of foreign Columbia student Mohsen Madawi from ICE custody. So the lower court said, release him. Second Circuit said, oh, hell no. That's not true. You don't have the authority to do that. So this was him. He was part of remember the Columbia University riots over Gaza?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, this was him here. I don't know if they're like basically trapping Jews in there so they can set the place on fire or whatever the hell they're doing. Maybe they're keeping out people and I think this is them taking over the library so I don't mislead anyone. The first time in.
But this is when this is around the time I started noticing the left going real anti-Semitic. And I'm like, okay, guys, y'all jumped the shark on this one. What are y'all doing?
Not big fans of the Jews.
No, man.
I can't help with that. You guys can help with
Well, anyway, I don't know if you see him in these clips here or not, but the point is that he was the one helping to instigate these the mayhem that happened at Columbia University. I think that what they called the something CUAHD, I think was the acronym, but I don't remember. I remember what it was. Anyway, so he was insulated by the district court. And today, Julie Kelly reporting that a federal appeals court just overturned a Vermont district court judge's decision to release 35-year-old grad student. 35-year-old grad student. Get this. He's here to study because he's a 35-year-old grad student. Mohsen Madawi, a pro-Hamas activist responsible for inciting violence on Columbia University's campus. Secretary of State Marco Rubio ordered Madawi removed last year on the basis he posed a threat to U.S. foreign policy. Judge Jeffrey Crawford released Madawi from custody in April 2025 on his habeas claims, writing that Madawi's continued detention would likely have a chilling effect on protected speech, which is squarely against the public interest, which is complete and total crap, because freedom of speech for an American citizen such as you or I is not the same as it is for everyone else. Who on earth really believes that, oh, because they arrested Madawi or they're deporting Madawi, that's now going to stop all the stuff happening at Columbia University, that people be like, oh, I'm afraid to go out and speak? That's crap. What a freaking lunatic. The appeals court clearly states that lower courts do not have jurisdiction to interfere in such a proceeding. This is what they wrote. Let's see. I'll make this a little bigger for you. A little synopsis of what they wrote. Quote, in immigration matters, our Constitution is clear. Power to regulate immigration, an attribute of sovereignty essential to the preservation of any nation, has been entrusted by the Constitution to the political branches of the federal government. So to break that down into English for people who haven't gone to law school, it's basically saying that under the Constitution, immigration, which, by the way, is a key to actually being a country, because without it, you're not a freaking country.
No.
Yeah, that's for Congress to figure out the rules of that. They alone have that. In fact, it actually says, over no conceivable subject is the legislative power of Congress more complete. There's no judicial legislation that we're going to make new rules from the bench, the way Schmuck Crawford wants to imply here. Saying judicial review of all questions of law and fact, including interpretation, application of constitutional and statutory provisions arising from any action taken or proceeding brought to remove an alien from the United States under this subchapter shall be available only in judicial review of a final order under this section. So only once he's ordered to be fully removed, at that point, in theory, there could be some sort of judicial action. But when they're going through the process of getting an order of deportation, no, the court has no role. There's nothing for you to do. You got no say here. You got no business weighing in at all. And that's what you should have written instead of just coming up and saying, I'm afraid this is going to chill speech. Who the hell are you? Sitting here writing your own rules.
It's going to mess with the speech of it's going to make foreigners and people who are here that aren't citizens think twice about the things they do and say. I mean, honestly, what rights should they have in this country as non-American citizens?
None.
Thank you.
They should have none. Now, to be fair, the Supreme Court does give them some sort of civil liberties, but they don't have the same power of free speech that you and I have.
They should,
even under the Supreme Court. So, and removing them is not a criminal thing. It's considered civil forfeiture.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's not considered criminal. Even when you're detaining them and holding them in a cell, it's not considered criminal. So this is a big win, and it's coming out of the Second Circuit. If you're unfamiliar with Second Circuit, that basically is governing New York State and Vermont. So this is a pretty nice, you wouldn't think this area, you would see a decision like that pretty much clamping down on district court judges from trying to intercede and protect these folks from instigating. And frankly, that's why they come here. They come here for the purpose of instigating, which is why Rubio wants them gone. He's like, no, it's not something this is not okay. So this is a big win. In fact, Julie Kelly pointed out that this is not the first win like this. She pointed out that earlier this year, the Third Circuit rendered a similar decision in the case of Mahmoud Khalil, another pro-Hamas grad student at Columbia, ordered removed on the same basis. These lower court judges knew that they had no jurisdiction, no authority under the law to litigate deportation proceedings via habeas claims, but they still did it anyway. Where they wrote, as we explained, 8 U.S.C. 1252b9 strips the district court of jurisdiction, requiring Khalil to wait to raise his claims until he files a petition for review PFR of a final order removal. So we need not reach the government's alternative argument that 1252G also bars jurisdiction. Anyway, so it is such a lengthy process. It's insane how hard it is to get rid of some of these people. It's like our government should just be able to say, you know what, F you, I don't want you here.
Yeah,
Goodbye.
I've never understood that. Why we have to go through any sort of
hurdles like this
whatsoever. If somebody who is in a position of power politically, and they go, you know what? Sorry, bro, you broke the law. Okay, bye. We shouldn't have to do anything else.
It makes me say, it makes me say, like, I don't want to have anyone come here. If you're telling me that no matter what a pain in the ass they are, it's like it's sit here going through all these legal hurdles. It makes me say, F it, I don't want anyone.
Yeah. Don't just shut the entire country off. Let's see
exactly. Because if we're too nice and we let people in, then when the whatever percentage of them, look, when you have a large gathering of people, invariably a certain percentage of them are going to be a-holes. That's just the reality of life.
I think so.
A certain percentage of them are going to be complete and total a-holes. Whatever gathering you're talking about, when you have enough of them, enough people. Now, in some groups, there may be a larger percentage of a-holes than others, right? But if you have a big enough group, you have 1,000 people. In that 1,000 people, there's going to be at least one. So you're telling me that it's going to be so impossible to remove an a-hole? I'm like, why do I want any of these people? I don't want any of them.
just close everything off. Shut it all down.
Yeah, shut it all down.
I could get behind, or not get behind, but I could understand red tape being up for people that are here illegally and seeking asylum, things like that, right? But these are that was clearly a student that was here going to school. So there was no asylum seeking. They were being a student. They were just going to be here.
A 35-year-old student.
Well, you get what I'm saying, though, right?
But that's what it is.
But there was a reason for them to be here. It wasn't like,
let me tell you something. When you see someone who calls himself a student at 35, red flags should be flying everywhere, okay? That's what should be happening. A 35-year-old who calls himself a grad student. Look, I guess if you're in med school, maybe, but then you should be deep into your residency, so they wouldn't tend to call it school. 35 years old. 35 years old, someone's a grad. Red flags, I'm like, okay, either the guy is probably a sexual deviant or they're here as an instigator. That's the first thought you have. Now, does that apply to every person who's older and goes to university, for grad school? No, some people go back to school. I understand that. Some people, but as soon as you see that should be the first thought, like, what's this guy's deal? That's the way life should be. It's like, let's alert ourselves to the circumstances here. Because, why the hell are you 35 years old and you're going to graduate school at this point? What happened? I guess if you were a felon and you spent like a major part of your youth incarcerated, maybe you might not be either a deviant or an instigator. Maybe you rehabilitated. And look, I understand that these are hard and fast rules I'm giving you here. I want to be 100% crystal clear. There are, I'm sure, some people from that entire group I just lumped together as one of older grad students that I'm sure there's a certain percentage of them which are really good, decent, moral people looking to better enrich their own lives. That doesn't mean that they shouldn't face the scrutiny of the red flags that we say, what the hell are they here for? And maybe they'll pass muster with the red flags. Maybe we'll start looking at them and be like, oh, that red flag gone, that red flag gone. But as soon as we see it, it should be like a ship that's going down where they're reaching under the seats, grabbing out all the red flags and just waving them around like a crazy person. That's how you should view anyone who's in their mid-30s going back to graduate school, and especially if they're not a citizen of this country. Especially if they're not a citizen of this country. So Mahmoud Khalil, without, I don't know, like 60-year-old Mahmoud Khalil. That dude looks like my older brother. Hey, come on. What the hell's going on here?
I agree with what you're saying. It does make you raise an eyebrow when you see the age of the guy. But if you're if you're here, you're registered, you're going to school, there's a reason for you to be here. And I think that if you're doing things to cause problems, you should be able to go, nah, bye-bye.
And I want to be clear here. My grandmother, okay, after she became a grandmother, went back to school. Okay, I'm not saying that's why I was like, no, there's some people who I know she didn't have no red flags around her. She was the moral integrity that was just frighteningly.
The Black Panther Party.
She was fiercely, and she had fierce integrity and was an amazing woman. My
grandmother Good Lawgic was a member of the Black Panther Party, and
definitely not. Definitely not.
Don't say it like that.
No, trust me. No, trust me, bro.
Me.
No,
not at all.
You could have said a lot of groups there, but not that one.
Yeah, no, but like I know that older people and people, not in their 20s go to college. But my point being though is that if the guy's here and he's not like trying to be a citizen whatsoever, he's just here to take advantage of our education system or whatever it is. Bye, get out of here. Go. Yeah. You should not have to go through any court hearing.
It should be like, when the application to remove him comes through, everyone should just sort of like shrug me like, yeah, we kind of figured.
Yeah.
We've kind of figured this guy.
I put it to you like this: the moment any of the charges go above a misdemeanor, bye. Go away.
Oh, 100%.
You're gone. You're gone.
100%.
Get away.
Get rid of them.
We shouldn't be housing them. We shouldn't be feeding them. We shouldn't be doing any sort of. We shouldn't let them dragging their feet.
Nothing.
We should bar them from ever becoming citizens. We should revoke all credits they got while they were here in our education system.
Yes. Although that's probably a private thing.
No, we should do it. We should do it. So those aren't transferable. Or we're gonna pull all of our funding for your schools. I'm telling you, like that's the way I see it. And again, like that's if it's somebody, I understand there being red tape if someone's like, hey man, I come from a war-torn country, I'm trying to seek asylum. I understand having to investigate that. I don't want it to happen. I say send them back too, but on that one I could go, okay, sure. But this one,
all these asylum claims. Just because your country sucks, and there are definitely countries out there that suck. In fact, I'll tell you right now, there's only one United States of America, so I can tell you there's 178 countries that suck. But just because your sucky country might be a particular hotbed of really uncomfortableness for you and your ilk, my point is that the first stop for you is at the nearest country to you. Mm-hmm. It doesn't mean because your country sucks. Yeah. That you get to just sort of just, I can go whatever country I want. It's like, my country sucks. I get to live in Martha's Vineyard. That's not the way life works. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It's not like, it's like, you know what? My community sucks. Now I should be able to, the United States should put me in Beverly Hills because my community is, dangerous community. So I should be able to move to Beverly Hills. That's not the way life works. Under the rules of asylum, your duty is to go to you're not supposed to pass through other countries that could grant you asylum until you get to your preferred destination. This is not like some stupid upgrade on your airline flight that you're just like, oh, look, good on you. Today's your lucky day. That's not the way things work.
I think what we ought to do, anyone that comes here and seeks asylum, we should send them immediately to New Jersey to live for a year. That's what I think. And then immediately they'll go back to their own country.
James says, Joe, the people of Nigeria, Zimbabwe, Nigeria, Nicaragua, Venezuela, Kenya, Somalia, Chad, Yemen, Kuwait, their food they bring to their country is so amazing. All people need to be represented. Food equals votes.
I've been seeing all these African restaurants pop up on like TikTok and Twitter, and I see the stuff they're eating, and I go, no, that is no. What is this white potato paste that they're like eating? You have to eat everything with your hands. Can we not? And that's coming from a hillbilly from the South. Okay, calm down, people. I have to go against you, Jay, on that one. So.
Jay says, Joe, my man, Sin is trying to explain to you that we live in this timeline. You shouldn't go back to change a different timeline because this one will stay the same. Your timeline is your timeline. It's a comic book thing. Oh, is that why you would give me that whole thing?
I mean, that is part of it, but
thing with your comic books.
No, not exactly.
Okay.
That is a part of it.
He totally nailed
our
it.
timeline is our timeline, of course.
You. Oh, he tagged you.
You're also missing the point.
Dude tagged you.
Okay.
Tagged you.
Are we? Are we? Jesus, I can't even. Can I finish? No. Are we or are we not the greatest nation in the world?
Yeah.
Did World War II play a major part in us becoming the powerhouse that we are now?
No.
You know, you're gonna sit there and honestly say it didn't play. Okay, you know what? I can't have an honest conversation with you anymore. Tuesdays are over, people. I'm never coming back. If I had something to throw right now, you would hear it.
The fact that we were successfully flexing our might in World War II was not what enabled us to become the powerhouse that we became. We would have been the same nation if there was no World War II. We might not have displayed it so majestically as we did in Normandy. I understand that. But what I'm saying is I don't think it would have had any impact. What's the matter? I don't think it would have had any impact on what America is, the greatness of America.
I think we became greater after World War II because of the things that we were able to pillage and take from World War II.
Really? What did we pillage? I want to.
The scientists, you mean the entire NASA program didn't come from Germany? Don't you even roll your eyes at me and be like, well, don't even. Don't you dare, Joe. Don't sit there and even try to get out of that one.
All right, first and foremost, NASA is highly overrated.
Okay, come on. Let's wiggle out and try to square him out of that one.
No, so
NASA's highly overrated. Of course, the rocket program didn't do anything to give us major technologies and advancements for the human race, the world, and our country.
Name one.
You're gonna sit there and honestly tell me that the
technology,
technology,
the obvious advancements.
The advancements in technology.
You're supposed to pick up your little good Lawgic glass and show me. Oh, look at this! Thank you, NASA. Thank you, NASA.
Not at all.
That's what you'd be able to do. I want to just name them all. Just
literally what we're doing right now, streaming across the country to thousands and thousands of people by the end of the show, right, is because of NASA.
But is it?
Where's something for me to throw?
You're telling me the fact that we brought in Werner von Braun to basically help us blow up Nagasaki.
Velcro. Thank you, Velcro. If it wasn't for NASA, we wouldn't have Velcro. You wouldn't be able to
found by
shoes now. You wouldn't even be able to wear shoes now, Joe. Say thank you, Jeremy.
I do love me some Velcro shoes. I'm saying is, I think it's vastly overstated. You think we never would have come upon Velcro? Oh, thank God we had Werner von Braun here showing us how to blow up Nagasaki. Otherwise, America never would have been great. That's insane. That's insane.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Did it perhaps propel us a little bit faster in certain ways? Yeah, maybe. I guess.
Yeah, WD-40.
I guess.
Thank you, chat. WD-40. How often are you using WD-40, Joe? Or how often is your guy using WD-40?
Who are you talking to? You think I'm going to get that stuff in my hands?
Ew.
Oh my God.
I just think that, the timeline that we're in is the correct timeline that we're in. So I'm not going to argue with you no more. You just say I'm right, Cynic, and we'll move on. Say, Sin, you're amazing. And
SCOTUS rulings are still just opinions. They have no enforcement power. Example, Biden was told that he couldn't forgive loans, but did it anyway. This is true. Eclectic is correct. I'm 38 and just got accepted to the fire academy. I was worried I was too old to do it. Now Joe has me thinking I'm right. No. Few things that make this very different. First and foremost, you're going to fire academy. You're learning a skill. Nothing wrong with that. That's always admirable. When you go into like these higher education universities, but you're not learning any sort of skill, you're looking to make yourself more marketable to people. So that's first and foremost what I'm talking about. Second of all, for the most part, I was talking about men, not women, because men are the ones who are more. I wasn't assuming you were some sort of deviant. And third of all, I don't think that. I don't think you're going to get your foot all the way into your mouth there in that image. So, but maybe if you go through the fire department and you go through the fire academy, they'll teach you how to do that. You'll be able to accomplish bigger, bolder things.
Jesus Christ, Joe.
I just realized she was eating her foot there, and it just very much distracted me from where I was going. So, but anyway, best of luck to you in the fire academy. I was talking about men, and I was really talking about the fact that we're bringing people in from all over the world so they can be in their mid-30s hanging out with 20-year-old college kids. That seems insane.
Somebody in the chat says
That sounds like a very bad recipe.
And Joe knew about WD-40, his door wouldn't squeak. And you know what? I mean, it's a valid point. That's a very valid point. Thank you, class of 21%.
My door doesn't squeak any longer.
And you can thank NASA for that.
Not because WD-40 though. No, it actually came off its hinges, and I had to take it off, and
Joe took his door off the hinges and just put it in one of his random piles that we were talking about last week.
Nice. I was worried you forgot all about that.
Dude, I got a weird memory. For some reason, I'll be 80 years old and I'll remember that.
I'm looking forward to testing you. Okay, so let's now that we finished up with this story, I want to move on to Canada, because apparently we're about to go to war with Canada.
Thanks, Nicole. We're gonna go to war with Canada. What are they gonna blast us with maple syrup cannons while they're riding on mooses?
We're going to war with Canada. It's happening. It is happening. And here's the genesis of the war. It all starts with a fire.
Oh, yeah. I was a lot of people were talking about that last week. And I was like, thank God I live in the South. I don't have to worry about none of that nonsense. Good Lord, that's a lot of wood gone.
Pounding on doors, waking people up, evacuating as many people as we could. We're driving through flames to get out.
Over 190 wildfires burn across Ontario. And as of Friday, July 17th, 80 of them were deemed out of control.
This could protect 80 out of control fires in Canada.
Eventually overtake us here. This has gotten a little scary.
More than 150 fire crews are on the ground.
Nearly a dozen communities have been evacuated or are preparing to be.
It was coming super fast. A lot of the people that we did wake up and got out, they were driving through flames to get out.
This resort owner fled with his neighbors on Monday, returning days later to destruction.
We returned again Wednesday morning. Our resort was then burnt. M&R or nobody went in behind to protect it. There was hot spots. Nobody paid attention to it. It flared up again during the day. That's when our damage was done to our resort at Fishing Lake. Everybody's seen fires, but when you see it in your own backyard, it's like, wow.
My message to all those who've been forced to evacuate is very simple. Our government stands with you, and
we'll show you the fastest way to egress. This is Doug Ford, the Premier of Ontario.
Always have your backs.
With air quality deteriorating,
what's his name? Was it Missouri? Why does he sound like what's his name? The guy that was going to be vice president.
Oh, you'll hear him. He sounds very Canadian.
Yeah. Okay.
We're going to hear more from Doug Ford. I'm building this story here.
Gotcha.
I'm building the story. So I got.
When we go to war.
Clips. Well, this doesn't sound like we're going to war yet. This is just there's fire going on in Ontario and across Canada. So, and I just will let you all know this. I had no idea anything about these fires until like late this afternoon. Although for the last few days, I was like, wow, it's really hazy out there.
Are you Joe? You're gonna sit there. Hold
really
on. Oh, whoa,
hazy.
whoa. You're gonna sit there and talk about me not paying attention to stuff. And this has
Really
been
hazy.
the biggest story. Even I couldn't avoid it to where people were talking about it and making memes about it and yada yada. And you just thought it was hazy?
It's very hazy. It's very hazy.
I can't with you sometimes, Joe.
Unless it happens on the internet, I don't know that it happens.
Do you, unless you're going to buy 2-liter bottles, do you leave your home?
No. No, I'm principal.
Traveled across the province.
Here in Thunder Bay, the air quality, in a word, bad, really, really bad.
That's what it looks like by me, by the way. That background there, that's what it looks like. It's looked like by me for the last 2 days.
And luckily, rain is in the forecast.
Just foggy.
Potential
Middle of a bright,
thunderstorms
sunshiny day with no rain.
Fires.
I didn't know it's a bright, sunshiny day because it just looks foggy.
Yeah.
So you don't know that. You're just like, oh, okay,
Gotcha.
the weather's being like that.
Yeah, they
So
blotted out the sun.
I was looking at the weather. I was like, okay, so that's how you want to be. You know what I'm saying? But like, not like. All right, well, anyway, so that's where I wanted to start. But this is I have my tabs set up here, really in a very acute, predetermined way.
At the Meadowlands in New Jersey, where the World Cup final is going to be played on Sunday. The stadium, look at that, it's covered in this thick haze from the wildfire smoke from.
This stadium, by the way, is like 5 miles from my house.
Canada and northern Minnesota.
Yep, the smoke is spreading across the U.S., triggering air quality alerts in 20 states.
Chandler Painter joins us with the details on these dangerous conditions. Good morning, Chandler.
Yeah, hey guys, I don't know about you, but that smoke overnight still irritating my eyes. And the effects are not just here in New York City. That dense haze is choking areas all across the Northeast and upper Midwest with air quality alerts in 20 states, like you said. Minneapolis's air quality among the worst in the world among major cities. Air quality in Minneapolis entered the hazardous category Wednesday after reaching an air quality index of 460. For reference, a hazardous AQI is categorized as 300 and above. So that's really bad there. Detroit and Chicago are also experiencing those dangerous air quality levels. Take a listen to how some people in Detroit are reacting. Watch.
Got to think about the people who have asthma and bad lungs. We have a
Bad
friend of mine now that's
Gotta be thinking about all them folks can't breathe right. You know what I'm saying? Dead air quality be bad, dog. We might have to fight Canada with our fists.
We're not up there. Yeah, we're getting there. We're not there yet.
in urgent care because of the smoke.
My dog has a doctor's appointment tomorrow, and we actually canceled it because my ride is my aunt, and she's got asthma.
Joe's just been breathing all this smoke in for a week.
I'm not supposed to?
No, I don't think so. It's not good for you, Joe.
Dude, I spent like 20 years smoking like a pack a day. You think
Yeah,
I
no big deal. Yeah, I get
the
it.
sad thing is I couldn't even smell it. Like I don't smell anything at all.
Your nose blind?
No, like I basically lost my sense of smell because
Yeah,
of
yeah.
smoking for so long.
Gotcha.
Sin is right. Europe was significantly weakened during World War II. Their power diminished, elevating the U.S. world standing. Even Russia was damaged. We didn't have to rise from the ashes. We stood alone.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Kimmy. You're a beautiful, beautiful person.
So fine. So what Kimmy is trying to say is Sin is correct when he says, "Thank God for the Holocaust." So
whoa! I would have said it way more cheerfully than that.
Thank God for the Holocaust.
There you go. Now, calm down, Joe. Now you're just being a jerk. Okay.
I'm just I don't know. That's it's not what you said.
That's not what I said at all. All right?
Pretty sure if we go back to the tape, you'll hear that verbatim.
You'll
from
hear
me.
that quote verbatim. Okay. All right, Joe.
Pretty sure.
All
Pretty. At least that's what I heard. I don't
It's, wow. You know what? You people sometimes.
What do you mean, you people?
You know exactly what I mean, Joe. All right. Thank God for the Holocaust. Do you know how many more fans I'm going to get because of that? Thanks, Joe. I don't want to be that popular.
Serna says, did you not notice that you could look directly at the sun and look just like a dark egg yolk? Seriously, never look at the sun. I never look at the sun.
He
But
never
it
goes
has looked
outside
like
in
that.
the sun. That's why he uses spray on tan.
Are you saying I should be doing my show here in one of those NH4 masks or whatever?
No, you shouldn't. But you also should have known that, like, wow, it's been hazy for a week now. I wonder if something might be going on. Does it? New Jersey's normally not this covered in fog in the middle of July.
Have you ever been to New Jersey?
Oh no, thank God.
So there we go. Thank you. More on the weather.
And now traffic with Joe.
This morning, millions waking up once again to hazy, hazardous skies as smoke from those blazing Canadian wildfires keeps blowing across the border, traveling more than 1,000 miles.
We are reaching into a level of air quality that is dangerous for every single New Yorker.
From the Midwest on down to the Mid-Atlantic.
Kermit the Frog here, mayor of New York.
When you walk outside, it burns, it stings a little bit, and we both have respiratory issues, so
no.
Air quality advisories in more than a dozen states. Apocalyptic scenes from Chicago to New York.
All of this smoke combined with this oppressive heat wave can make for a dangerous combination, especially for those with pre-existing conditions. So New York City is actually handing out free KN95 masks at public libraries and police and fire stations.
Detroit.
There you go. There's you an opportunity. Go buy all of the, or go get all those for free and then sell them, Joe. You'll be a millionaire.
The worst air quality worldwide, with visitors to the Windy City feeling the effects.
Come out the subway, chest started to give me some issues. Nose was burning. I can taste it.
It does look like an egg yolk.
Milwaukee officials recording their worst ever air quality, more than double the previous record number. Many across the nation choosing to wear masks. The hazy conditions also impacting flights. One Delta pilot telling passengers not to worry as a smoky smell invaded the cabin flying over New York.
So if you smell that luminous smoke, that's what we're going through right now. Just want to let you guys know that's from the wildfires out west.
Haze triggering flight delays in Philadelphia. Ash even sticking to an American Airlines plane in flight.
Yeah, it's adhering to the windshield. I've never seen it stick to the windshield like this.
Now that smoke is set to move further south as we go through the day today into Virginia and Washington, D.C. before hopefully clearing out for most over the weekend. But there is a chance that for many people in the U.S., that smoke is going to return, Michael, next week.
So that's the situation there, which has Trump not feeling very happy with Canada these days.
Mm-hmm.
And
blame Canada.
What?
I said blame Canada. Blame Canada.
He issued a statement on Truth Social, basically saying that this is Canada's fault. Like they basically screwed the pooch on this thing, and he's right. So, why is that? Why do you think he's why do you think we have these fires? Why do you have such crazy wildfires? You have 80 fires that are burning out of control. They have 190 in total, and 80 of them are out of control. I mean, that's astonishing. That's astonishing. His Truth Social post on Friday. So he was accusing Canada of basically being complete and total ass with respect to taking care of this situation. President Donald Trump is using wildfire smoke from Canada to threaten tariffs. That's according to Business Insider. Trump blasted Canada in a post on Truth Social on Friday, accusing America's northern neighbor of mismanaging its forests and causing the current bout of wildfires that is sending waves of smoke into the United States. The U.S. is being unnecessarily invaded by filthy, polluted, and unhealthy air, the quality of which is dangerous, totally unacceptable, Trump wrote, adding, the cost is incalculable. The president said it was becoming an annual occurrence and was costing U.S. billions, though it's unclear what that figure is based on. He said the cost of the pollution must be added to the tariffs Canada is already paying. Wildfires across parts of central Canada have sent heavy smoke through the Midwest and Northeast this week, triggering high levels of air pollution, including in D.C. Republican lawmakers have blamed Canada's forest management practices for the plumes and are pressuring the country to act. Senator Bernie Moreno, Republican from Ohio, which was very heavily affected by these fires, said he would introduce a bill next week to sanction Canada and its government officials, sharing a post about air pollution in Cleveland. Representative Nick Langworthy from New York said he was reaching out to Canadian officials to encourage them to act. Canada must take meaningful action to prevent these catastrophic wildfires and protect both Canadians and Americans, he wrote on X. If it refuses to do so, there should be consequences. So that's what Trump and the GOP are saying. Let's hear from Mark Carney, Prime Minister. This is the Prime Minister of Canada. I know you had no idea who this dude was.
No, I had no clue yet. I mean, I knew
absolutely.
they changed one.
Yeah. I don't blame you because, you know, if I showed you Trudeau, you would have known. But like,
yeah, I mean, I know who Trudeau is, but I knew that they had changed prime
Right.
ministers. But it's like one of those things, man. I don't.
Well, you're like, I don't get it.
It's Canada.
You're
You give
basically
them all wedges and
IDGAF.
send them back. Yeah.
Right.
I had a series of conversations with the President of the United States over the weekend on wildfires, made very clear both the scale of the issue, the scale of the forest that Canada is blessed with, 8 times the size of Texas, the fact that we have effectively a drought, conditions.
Drought?
I had...
So he's saying, I'm in contact with him. That's what he says.
Mm.
And we are proposing tariffs now. President Donald J. Trump imposes additional tariffs on Canada. But he doesn't put it for the wildfires.
Huh.
He says, today, President Donald J. Trump signed 3 proclamations pursuant to Section 388 of the Tariff Act of 1930 to impose additional 50% tariffs on certain goods of Canada in response to Canada's discriminatory treatment of American products. Nothing to do with wildfires. You've been discriminating against us, so we're going to punish you back. By doing so, President Trump is offsetting the burden and disadvantage on U.S. commerce from Canada's discriminatory... Geez, really?
Go on now. Pay for the subscription, why don't you?
It's whitehouse.gov.
I know. They need money.
Come on.
Come on, Trump. What are you doing?
Come on. U.S. Commerce is leveling the playing field for crucial American exports, cars, alcohol, and dairy. Each Section 338 proclamation imposes a 50% tariff on different set of Canadian imports, covering products ranging from wine to hockey sticks to cement. Yeah. If you're hitting hockey sticks, you know it's serious.
Yeah, that's a bad thing. How many Canadian hockey sticks are we buying? That is...
If you're gonna
buy hockey country.
Hold on. Yeah, I was gonna say, if you're gonna buy a hockey stick, if you're an American and you're looking to buy a hockey stick, wouldn't you rather get a Canadian one? Probably.
No.
Of anything that you would look to buy Canadian over American, wouldn't maple syrup and hockey
Maple
sticks
syrup would be it.
be like the top 2 on the list?
Yeah, maple syrup would probably just be it though. Like top 2. Oh man.
What would number 2 after maple syrup be for you? Because to me, hockey sticks make sense. I mean,
hockey sticks. I get they make sense, but we're also an athletic sports country. You know?
Right.
You know, it's not like we don't have great hockey teams or hockey equipment here. Some of the greatest, athletics equipment is sold in the United States. So
True. Fair enough. All right.
Yeah, I can't think of what would be after maple syrup. I mean, I try to buy exclusively, like I think it's Vermont or Canadian maple syrup. I have to look at my fridge.
These Section 338 tariffs apply to all covered goods, regardless of whether a good originates on the U.S.-Mexico-Canada agreement. Section 338 tariffs will not apply to energy, potash products subject to tariffs under Section 232 and certain other goods such as fish or critical minerals. Tariffs will take effect 30 days after the signing and are designed to offset the burden and disadvantage of U.S. commerce from Canada's discrimination. So nothing about wildfires here. Nothing at all. He says it's purely about that. That's what it's about. Now, the left is accusing him of lying about this, and he's motivated by the fires. Here's Scott Besson coming out and standing firm next to Donald Trump. And to be fair, that's probably why he's standing firm.
President is poised to unleash new tariffs, fresh tariffs, on dozens of countries soon as this week, we're told, as the president has imposed a 50% tariffs on some Canadian goods, including cars, alcohol, and daily.
That wasn't a gay joke, just to be clear. Just because he happens to be gay.
It wasn't,
He is, by the way, he is gay. Like he's openly gay.
dairy products. What is the trade discrimination that is at hand causing the president to hike tariffs here on Canada?
Well, I think it's something that we've discussed with our Canadian colleagues for a long time, and they haven't done anything about it. You know, they're highly discriminatory on dairy products. U.S. Alcohol and beverages have been removed from Canadian shelves. So this is really just reciprocity in terms of what they've done to our great U.S. companies.
Secretary, this is an incredible week. It's the final week for the House before they're all president.
So, do you think it's about trade imbalance, or do you think it's about? I'll give you one more guy weighing in on it.
Yeah, give me one more.
Last night, the Canada tariffs. One, are those a response to the wildfires in?
No. That's separate. We're looking at that separately.
And what is there anything Canada?
It's only
can do?
response to the way they've treated our farmers and our people. Yeah, Canada's been very, very tough on us over the years, for many years, and no other president's done anything about it. I love Canada. I love the people of Canada. Many friends that live in Canada, but their leadership, from Trudeau to the current leadership. I mean, in all fairness to them, they need us to survive. Without us, there's no way they can survive. So, but they've been.
Without me, you're nothing. You're nothing without me.
That's what they said. That's not what I said. You can't do anything. Canada wouldn't be here if it wasn't for me. I'm just telling you.
It's reality.
Very, very tough over a period of the last 50 years, actually.
So he's saying it's not about the wildfires. He's like, you've been basically jerks to us for 5 decades. So we're trying to fix it.
Yeah, there was that big kerfuffle last year where they stopped, importing alcohol from the United States. They were doing all kinds of, crazy stuff with that. I mean, he said it's not about the wildfires, Joe. What do you think?
I don't know. Here's in fact, when he talked about the wildfires in the same meeting. Here's another brief clip from him.
We're looking at that. A lot of damage has been done. They're not managing their forests properly, and the wind has a tendency to blow right over New York City, right over. You saw Detroit; they had to close the whole place. Michigan was really affected. They had to close businesses for 4 days. It's very serious what they're doing, and they don't seem to be able to do anything about it. If they managed their forests, they wouldn't have the fire. We're looking at that.
And here's the point that I was making, because people are saying it's not the real problem is climate change. That's what they love to say. Let's blame this on climate change.
Yeah.
What a jackassery type of response that is.
So
if you're coming out there telling me that the reason for these fires is because of climate change, you have to be a grade A schmuck, because it's not like climate change just if you believe in that ridiculous hoax, that transparent agenda-driven communism. If you believe in any of that crap, fine. That's your belief system. You decide to jump in and blind yourself to reality and just accept that as your truth, meaning complete fiction, but what you want to subscribe to as your particular religion. Fine. If that's your religion, then answer me this. You knew about climate change for how many years now? So why the hell doesn't that make it all the more imperative that you manage your forests? Because you're saying it's so hot out there, we're going to have all these fires. Doesn't it make it that much more imperative that you're very meticulous about managing your forests so that it doesn't become a wildfire? Because we're much more likely to have a wildfire because of the whole climate change situation. Well, if you're worried about the climate change situation, you think that's a serious problem that's happening now, you should be out front screaming, oh my God, we have a real climate crisis here. Let's make sure that the entire country doesn't freaking burn down and have ash raining down like we're living in Sodom and Gomorrah here, because we're gonna have some fire that's gonna come raging through here because of climate change. Like the audacity. You come out and basically say, oh, this is not about forest management. No, if you're in a particularly dangerous, you're driving in a snowstorm. You're driving in a freaking snowstorm. Do you just be like, oh, I'm going to pretend it's not snowing now? No, you take precautions given the environment that you're in. Well, according to you, Mr. Kami Mamdani, according to you, Gavin Newsom, according to you, Mark Carney, where you think that we're in a particularly dangerous environment because of climate change, you should be out there saying, oh my God, this is a serious circumstance here because of climate change. We really need to make sure that our forests are properly maintained. You should be leading the charge on that, not sitting back and be like, well, what can we do? I'm going to just drive through the middle of a blizzard and just hit the gas as hard as I can. What can I do? Oh my God, it's not my fault. It's the snow. It's the snow. That's not my fault. Climate change brought us snow. So you don't go driving 90 miles an hour when it's freaking snowing out. You don't leave your forest unattended when you have climate change. It's really very simple. Leave audacity, these frickers.
I agree. It's great. I've never understood it. I've never understood the well, it's climate change. And I'm going to go discuss it over in Sweden. So I'm going to get on my private jet and fly over there. And you know what? I'm going to offset it by buying a couple pine trees in Utah. So stupid. That's great. If I was Trump, though, I think I would hammer them. Right now, you have this to hold over them. So I would hammer them with this trade deal, get what we want, and then hammer them on the fires also.
On the fires also.
Yeah.
Oh, don't worry. We're going to hear Canada's response in just a moment. We'll just catch up here real quick.
Nice.
Doug Ford threatened to cut electricity to New York last year. I remember that. I'm a conservative Canadian who dreams of seeking asylum in the United States. I call my country China da. China da. FYI, you're awesome. Even your sidekick. Even this guy?
Thank you so much. I do what I can.
Thank you, Doug. I appreciate that. That was very kind of you.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Can we just refer to Carney as Ugly Trudeau? We can. Check DM. Trump calls out Mikey Sherrill. This is what she shared with me here.
All right.
Just now, President Trump exposes Democrat New Jersey Governor Mikey Sherrill for drastically undercounting the foreigners on our voter rolls. Says DHS has found 35,000 so far. So much more larger than the 6,600 Governor Sherrill. Oh, but as soon as we call out the problem, we're on top of it. So full of crap. And even the 35K caught is only a fraction per Trump. These are just the ones that got caught. The real numbers will prove to be many, many times this amount. Yes. The Democrats, Republicans get smart and straighten out the crooked elections, pass the Save America Act. Do it now, Leader Thune. Yes, thank you, Coach.
According to the DHS review, state voter rolls and public records, they identified approximately 278.
So we saw this clip, but the point is that he shared out 35,152 is the new number just released by Homeland Security of non-citizens registered to vote in New Jersey. These are just the ones that got caught. The real numbers will prove to be many times this amount. They're all Democrats. Republicans get smart and straighten out crooked elections, pass the Save America Act. God bless this man. God bless him. It's unbelievable. It's really unbelievable. The wind is blowing in another direction. I can tilt the sails, but since the wind is changing because of the climate, I have to sail into these rocks. Yeah, that's exactly.
You know what? Now I got to go into these rocks.
What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? What can I do? The reason I mentioned Governor Newsom is because he had to come out. That might have seemed like a random attack at Governor Newsom. No. He has to weigh in because he has aspirations of becoming president in 2028, and he wants people to remember he's here.
Not lost on me that the President of the United States has just imposed a 50% tariff to increase your costs.
Not true. That's a crap.
Because he said that Canada didn't do enough to rake their forests.
That's not what he said. Now you're lying. He didn't say that.
Was just promoted by the president yesterday. You can't make that up. Of course, not surprising.
You just did make it up.
These talking points are getting exhausting.
Yeah, you just literally just did make that up because that's not at all what Trump said. In fact, he said just the opposites. So here's Doug Ford. Remember this guy? We saw him 5 minutes ago.
Look, if I've got that big of a short-term memory loss, Joe, I'm in some trouble here. All right.
What's his title?
Prime Minister.
Close. Premier of Ontario. It's kind of like governor. of that.
Oh, okay. Got you.
The prime minister is like the president, and premier is the governor of Ontario, so to speak.
We have to hit back. We have to, rather than be on our back heel, as I said, we have to go forward, take the offense. We are an energy powerhouse, and we could dismantle the U.S. if we wanted to, if we all work together. No matter if it's the electricity, and I'm not speaking for the other provinces, I'm going to be very clear. The potash, the oil, we're their #1 customer in the world. They need to feel the pain rather than us constantly feeling the pain.
So that's one thing. That's after he was begging to help yesterday for wildfires. Today he's like, we have to hit back. Last year he was threatening to have to hit back, and Canada came whimpering back to us. This is like, we heard the exact same crap from them a year ago, as Doug pointed out. Here's another clip of this schmuck.
You know, we always say we can't keep rolling over for President Trump. We can't back down. We need a full Team Canada approach. Everything is on the table, but Ontario can't do it alone. We need the support. We need a plan from the Prime Minister to come in, and if these talks fail in 29 days, we need to hit them back as hard.
Why are you having talks a day before the tariffs are set to come in? What does that mean? If these talks fail in 29 days, you're about to face a 50% tariff, which will be financially decimating you. And you're telling me you're going to show up in 29 days and have a meeting about it at that point? That's like, why don't you just show up wearing a gimp suit and a ball gag at that point? Like, you're going to wait till then? At least now try to make America blink.
You have nothing to bring to the table with this. There's nothing there. You have no teeth.
What are they? He's gonna come in there.
Yeah, I mean, he has no teeth. There's no bite that he can bring. You guys already used the card. Well, I mean, we just saw Newsom use the line that you guys used a year ago over the alcohol imports and stuff. Yeah. You already used that. That's going to cost us more for your products, guys. I honestly, I'm looking around my house. I can't think of any products outside of maple syrup that I go, that's made in Canada.
As we can. I'm tired of the bully trying to take our lunch money all the time. We always seem to be on our back heels. We need to be on the offense, not constantly on the defense with President Trump. We need to stand up to the bully, and we need to hit him tariff to tariff all the way across the board. And that's my message to the Prime Minister. We need a plan moving forward.
Sounds like you're losing a little bit of patience.
Well, I'm losing patience based on, first of all, we have to get this deal. Would I be happy with the deal? 100%. I think the whole country and the U.S. would be happy with the deal. But if he continues to constantly bully us, we can't keep rolling over. We can't keep backing down. We have to go.
He's responding to your tariffs. This is like someone who goes and like basically beats up on some kid who's 10 pounds lighter than him in 4th grade, and just beats up, and then like his big brother shows up and you go crying. Just
full.
What the hell? You
got to beat up the bully.
Yeah, you were the bully. You were the bully.
We are an energy powerhouse. We have to utilize every tool we have in the toolbox and make sure he feels the pain.
The reason he's coming crying, I'll have you know, my suspicion is this. This is based on my very limited knowledge of products that come from Canada, okay? So it's likely that it's the fuel that comes from the prairie states, like Alberta, because you have the Edmonton, Alberta. That's where your hockey Oilers.
Sands.
Yes, the Oilers. Why they call the Oilers? Because that's where all the oil is. So that's what we would want from Canada, as opposed to stupid maple syrup from freaking Ontario. Like, what the hell do we need from Ontario? So he's going crying to the other premiers from other provinces to basically say, "Come on, help me out here," because he's very afraid. You should have just been more. You should have said, "Hey, we're going to stop with the tariffs." It's very simple. Just say we'll stop with the tariffs.
And I hate saying the American people, because I love the American people, and I know a lot of people down in the U.S. don't agree with President Trump. We need to get a deal. We need to create more jobs. You know, right now, investment is stalled in both countries. But if we get a deal, then people have certainty. They have production and jobs are created. And if not, then people lose their jobs on both sides of the border.
I mean, here's the problem though. This is what bothers me. I don't know. I do know one of the major imports like Ontario boasts, like the largest one we have is like trucks. Okay, like cars and trucks or whatever that are like assembled there.
Okay.
Those are American companies. Why are we paying a tariff on those? So other than that, like there's really nothing there that is a product of Canada. Like the stuff that they're importing are mostly products of America that are just like assembled over there and then brought back here because the work.
So we pay tariffs. American companies that basically are operating out of Canada. You're saying that those are the products that we're getting?
I would assume, yeah, because the
tariffs that we're paying is basically our manufacturing and distribution would be sending stuff out to Canada, and they're posting tariffs on them to insulate the Canadian producers from American competition. So that's that's what Trump is trying to fight against in order to help build our overall economy. So I think that we should probably hear from Mark Carney his response on the tariffs, because we heard him talk about the wildfires. Let's hear his response to the tariffs with Doug Ford crying for his help.
As many of you know, yesterday the United States announced the intention in 30 days to launch the latest, what is a series of trade actions against Canada in violation of our agreement, CUSMA, with the United States and Mexico. And I want to put this in a bit of perspective, then answer a couple of questions. The first is that in response to these actions, this began over 18 months ago. Canadians from coast to coast to coast have stood together. The federal government, provincial government, labor, business, Canadians themselves, uniting, focusing on what we can control, building strength here at home, supporting each other, buying Canadian, and diversifying partnerships abroad. We've signed more than 20.
I'm just going to say I'm getting very distracted by this thing over here. I don't know. It just looks like this image here.
This thing right there in the back.
This little Juno News logo here. I don't know. It's looking very, very defined lines here.
Economic and security partnerships internationally, investment, machinery and equipment's picking up, economy's picking up. We're growing jobs at twice the rate in the United States. We're the fastest growth in foreign direct investment, investor confidence in Canada in over 2 decades, twice the rate of other countries. In the G7, we're projected to have the second fastest growth in the G7, not just this year, but next year going forward. So the country is stronger. We're stronger because we're united, and we will remain united. I will be speaking with the premiers later this afternoon. I'll be meeting with them tomorrow. Minister LeBlanc will convene the Canada-U.S. Advisory Council later this afternoon. Earlier this morning, and I would say as well that throughout this time, we have made a series of comprehensive and detailed proposals about how to modernize CUSMA, recognizing the transition that the U.S. is underway in the international and all its trading relationships, including with Canada and Mexico. I spoke with President Trump earlier this morning. We agreed to intensify negotiations in the coming weeks, and the team and myself look forward to doing that. As always, Canadians, governments, business, labor will stand together to build Canada strong and to have a trading relationship with our North American partners that benefits everyone.
Basically, if you fell asleep in the middle of what he was saying, that he sounds like every politician you've ever heard. Did you?
So I went ahead and pulled up a list though. If you, so the top American-made, like American companies that are in Canada that were importing vehicles are the Chevy Silverado, Chrysler Pacifica, and then there's Ford Super Duties that are, yeah, and those are affected by the tariffs. So they've got a Ford plant, they've got a General Motors plant, and then they have like a General Motors parts plant over there. And those are all affected by the
Look, when it comes to handling tariffs, I trust Trump implicitly on this.
Yeah, I do too.
This is like the one area that this is one of not the one area. This is one of the areas where I'm like, I think that this can only be a good thing. This can only be a good thing. So I'm trusting him on this, even though everyone's trying to scare us that, oh my gosh, this is going to cost us money.
I mean, if you honestly think about it, what products of Canada are there? Think about it honestly, around your home or anything. Like, you know, they may be assembled or produced or whatever, but I would be willing to bet 90% or more.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to notice it. I don't think you're going to notice it at all.
Yeah, I think the products are American, and it's like having Ford plants in Mexico. It's cheaper to have them built in Mexico and then shipped over here. Okay, it's just the way it is. So the fact that we're ever thinking of paying tariffs on our own products is absolutely insane. And then what am I going to do? Pay extra on maple syrup?
Hey, Grok, aside from maple syrup, what am I most likely to pay tariffs on if we bump up tariffs on Canada?
Crude oil tops the list at around $85 to $90 billion a year. Cars and auto parts come next at roughly $45 to $50 billion, followed by natural gas, aluminum, lumber, and machinery. If tariffs rise on Canada, those big-ticket items, especially energy and vehicles, would hit hardest because they're the highest value flows.
So I don't know. Yeah. That's probably oil in the Midwest.
The oil sands are what we're worried about.
And that would work from the mid. That wouldn't work on the. That wouldn't be on the East Coast.
That would work in Ontario. Yeah, Ontario is not going to be affected.
That's why I said Ontario is looking to the Prairie States, saying, "Hey, help us out." The Prairie States is the middle of Canada. If you're unfamiliar with the term Prairie States.
I mean, most of I know my state. Most of our lumber comes from our state. We have a lot of companies that Somebody's saying lumber, like 80% of lumber. I mean, I know they do. I know lumberjacks in Canada.
Well, lumber's already going to be more expensive because they just burned down half their country. So, I got one more clip here for you all.
Yeah, let's do it.
I started listening to this, and I heard the voice, and I was just like, I don't even know what he's saying, but I want to hear him.
It's not actually about Canada. It's this. It's if you retaliate, your trade deal may not save you. Canada was just the first one to find that out. So, yes, this is a story about a 50% tariff on Canadian goods. We'll get into that. But it's also a story about whether executive power can be used this way, about America's place in the world, about whether we, the United States, is capable of coming to terms.
That was the line that he said.
Run it back, Joe. Let's hear it again.
Did I hear this guy correctly? He said we, the United States, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
The world, about whether we, the United States, is capable of.
Oh, yeah.
We, the United States.
I look here, sir. I don't. I've got a pretty distinct accent, you know.
What the hell is we, the United States? What is that? What part of the United States calls it the United States?
I don't think. First of all, we don't say we, the United States. We just say the United States.
Second of all, I don't think your accent is from the South or the Northeast.
Maybe it's a California accent.
Maybe the Midwest. Out west, just seeing.
It's like he had to say he had to say the United States because he knew that when he said we, none of us thought he was American. None of us thought
confused. He was. And you know what? Hey, I'm glad you said that because I still don't think you're from America. Shut up.
Of coming to terms with and living up to a trade agreement, and about what the White House may be trying to signal to every other trading partner right now. Fundamentally, it's a story about the future of our economy. Now, it matters for American families because ultimately what the president's doing is imposing taxes on Americans. He's imposing taxes on Americans who buy stuff from Canada.
Crap. Not
Another
true.
way of saying,
not true. Yeah, in the short term.
You are paying these taxes.
Yeah. We from the United States.
The United
Also
States is going to be paying those taxes.
Such an empty argument. The reason it's
You
such
just don't understand.
The reason it's such an empty argument is because, as my co-host has pointed out, we don't buy that much from Canada.
No.
First and foremost. But look, if it's only going to hurt them if we stop buying whatever we're buying. The point being that you're saying for America to swing, for Trump to use the American consumer, which is the envy of the world. Here. Let me point this out, okay? How many times, if you've been watching this show, how many times have you heard me complain about YouTube?
Never.
Yeah. I am routinely lambasting YouTube because they're a bunch of jerks who basically screw with my channel,
Of course.
unsub folks from me, take a ridiculous commission on super chats that come into me. They're basically complete and total a-holes.
Yeah.
And they do everything to make my bottom line shrunk as much as possible. Why am I on YouTube? Well, the reason I'm on YouTube is because if I don't go to YouTube, I'm screwed financially. So I basically take it because I have no choice. They wield their influence against content creators like myself because they know that, yes, I can stream to Rumble. I do stream to Rumble. I could stream on other platforms, but I'm not going to make any money. That if I want to make any sort of real money, enough to actually, pay my bills, that I have to go along and jump through the hurdles and take it up the wazoo, both literally and figuratively, from YouTube, because they're the only platform on the planet from which I can actually make a living doing this. So I take it from YouTube. Similarly, the American consumer and the power of the American consumer is something that is irreplaceable if you're a manufacturer or distributor. So your access to them, much like my access to YouTube, is essential to me. Your access to the American consumer, if you're a distributor or a producer abroad, is essential if you're planning on actually expanding into being a multinational corporation. It's really, really important because we spend money, we have access to funds, and we spend money in ways and in amounts and aggregate amounts that far outstrip the rest of the world. So what is Trump doing? He's saying, oh, you want access to these markets here? Having the American consumer buying your products? You're going to have to pony up and be good to us. Oh, no. They're going to think that we're reneging on our trade. I don't care. What are you going to do about it? The same way I have no choice. I have to go to YouTube. Producers in Canada have no choice. They need to come to America. And so basically you end up screwing over your own industries if you make it so that American consumers are not going to end up buying your products because of tariffs. So this schmuck here who comes from, I don't know, Limey Land or whatever stupid part of the world that he comes from and is now supposedly an American. I don't know if that means he's living in America. I don't know if that means that his citizenship papers come through or whatever. But this jackass who's sitting here trying to explain to you about how this is really, really bad for America doesn't know the first jack about what the hell he's talking about. I have no idea what his name, what is his, can I find out his name? Free Citizens. I don't know. Yeah, he's Free Citizens. He doesn't have the first damn clue what he's talking about, doesn't understand what it means to be an American, doesn't understand American exceptionalism, and certainly doesn't understand the power and might of the aggregate buying power of the American consumer. So, yeah, the rules are different for us, the same way the rules are different from YouTube. If Rumble treated me the way that YouTube treats me, I would never put up with that. But when you have someone or an entity that has that sort of collective power, they can do whatever the hell they want. And that's what Trump is doing with the American consumer. And I say, God bless him for that. So that's my thoughts on that. But it does seem as if we're going into an economic war with Canada.
Nice.
Some claim that it's because of the wildfires. Trump and the Trump administration is claiming nothing to do with that. We're still going to take more from them because of the wildfires. You figure out what that is. And that this is just about leveling the playing field because he's the first president who's not going to take it from other countries. And God bless him for that. Any final thoughts before we get on out of here, my brother?
No. I hope we do go to war with Canada with guns, though. That's what I.
You're not intimidated by the Royal Canadian Mountie?
No, what are they gonna do? Spray us with maple syrup guns? I'm telling you, I'm not too worried about those guys whatsoever. They're gonna be very polite when it comes to everything. So, I'm so tired of these people trying to think they hold any sort of control over us when they bend the knee to the UK, and then they beg us for protection.
Yep.
So
that's exactly what they do.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I just want to remind you all, I will not be streaming tomorrow night, and I will have a late show on Thursday, probably starting around 11 p.m. Maybe as late as midnight, somewhere in that range. You'll find that at goodlogic.locals.com. But I do plan on having a show that night as soon as I break my fast, regain my strength, and figure out what the things that you need to know. I'm going to remind you all that lab meat was never meant for you. It's meant for they, them, and do not eat the bugs. Good night and Godspeed.
Bye.
The plane is landing. The show is almost over. All that's left for you is this song. Joe left the studio. He's probably drinking Diet Mountain Dew. Maybe he's watching funny videos on YouTube, or playing chess, or doing Jewy things Jews do. We hope you had fun, and maybe you learned something. You hit like and you subscribe. Leave a comment if you want to show some love. That would be cool. You can be cool. Leaving comments is cool. So till next time, please be sure to stay away from lab meat. It was never meant for you. It's meant for they or them or comrades, sparkle hugs. And most importantly, do not eat Z-bugs. Good night and Godspeed. Good night and Godspeed.